His recognition, personally and musically, is the same in Norway as it is in Newark. And we had a lot of wonderful times together with him. And his music, he's been responsible for so many things all over the world.
Why is it important for you to be here tonight?
Why is it important
for anybody to be here tonight?
Why is it important? Why do any of us place any importance to this night? Because number one, it's Frank Sinatra. It's his 80th birthday coming up. And this contribution that this man has made to all of us, not only musically, but in so many ways. I mean, Frank has been a fighter and supporter of the underdogs all his life. He was speaking out against things that people used to rap minorities, and when it wasn't popular. And he was a kid taking punches at people a long time ago.
How has he kept our fascination for such a long time?
You probably can answer that as better than I can. His personal life is on a par with his professional life, and they've both been extraordinary.
He's exciting.
Yeah, he is. A lot of people have lived through him over the years. You know, hey Frank, yeah, go ahead. You know, a lot of guys say, yeah, and he's always been
He's got a lot of guts.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of talent. And a great voice.
What about that voice? How do you describe the Sinatra sound?
Well, the Sinatra sound, it was a miracle, and everybody's tried to emulate him. Everybody will try to emulate him, and he's the best.
A miracle is.
Well, it is a miracle.
It's a gift. I mean.
Well, every gift is a miracle.
Well, that's true. But Frank really took popular American songs and made it what all of us grew up knowing. Prior to Frank Sinatra, all the vocalists were singing. They were just singing words to the tempo. Made no sense. But he saw a story in that. And because of his phrasing, he took that and made it, if you will, like a little mini screenplay. A song is a beginning, a middle, and an end. Boy meets girl, loses girl, gets girl back, or unrequited, or whatever it is.
He made breathing, just breathing, into an art form as far as music was concerned.
I welcome you guys back on here. If you're new, consider subscribing, liking, and also share this video. Now, the legend, Steve Lawrence, the king, and of course, among us, there's so many easy listening crooners who rocked to fame, I think in the 50s and 60s, as half of the duo of the Steve and Eydie. That popular duo has died. His death actually came on Thursday at the age of 88, and of course, according to his publicist, they said that he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer disease, and of course, it finally put him to the continuous and of course never-ending rest. Actually, he had last toured, I think I saw online some of his tours, a couple of videos here and there. I think it was during the lockdown or before the lockdown, I think 2019 or 2020, and of course from that time he was never in public. He went off stage, and for me, what I can say about Steve, that their duo with Eydie, the wife, the beautiful Eydie, actually was one of those duos, and they had maintained that longevity, because ideally for an artist to be popular in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, early 90s, early 2000s, up to around 2009. Indeed, it's not so easy, because when you happen to look through some of the popular couples, you can think about the popular couples. You can think about those, like those couples who had actually been a duo. Those, I think, Miranda Lambert and Blake Shelton, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. Then you can think about, I think, Keith Urban and Kid Marn. Then there is Garth Crooks and Trisha. Some of those couples, you can't compare them to, those couples and of course duos, you can't compare them to this couple of Steve and Eydie, because these guys actually rocked the almost like five decades, man, producing top quality music, producing top class music. And indeed, their loss, because we all know Eydie passed away a few years ago, and then the husband has joined him uh, after a few years, the husband has joined him, and indeed, it's really very, very tough. The son actually came out and said that, my dad was an inspiration to so many people. That is David Lawrence, the son to Steve. And he said to me, he was just charming, handsome, hysterically funny guy who sang alone, sometimes alone and sometimes with his insanely talented wife. And of course, I'm so lucky to have had him as a father and so proud to be his son. My hope is that his contributions to the entertainment industry will be remembered for so many years to come. Appreciation of Lawrence from friends and of course contemporaries began to roll in by Thursday, and of course Dion Warwick, we saw him commemorating and also pay tributes, and of course so many other artists came out to pay tributes to the legend that is Steve Lawrence. So for me, my whole take and of course lesson from the life and legacy of Steve, that for someone to maintain that longevity for so many years, indeed, you must be loving what you do. One, secondly, you must be doing it so well, because obviously you will rise and fall and rise and fall. But if you're doing whatever you're doing so well, indeed, people will have no choice but of course to take whatever you're producing. So in this moment in time, I'm sending up my prayers, sympathies and messages of condolences to the family, friends, the fans who really loved Steve Lawrence. Rest in power and peace, King Mr. Steve Lawrence.